And then like the river is like kind of gnarly because like everyone's showering and doing that in there, but it's like they're also pooping for sure. They're pooping.
Oh, for sure, Survivor style.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Aqua dump.
I've done it in the Columbia River, and you want the stream to be moving faster, but like
the river is fucking
the
gnarly.
feeling
shit
is
in the
like
river,
you'll never laugh as hard. I think because you find like a nice crack in a rock that you can just kind of get your feet your fingers in, and then your feet just dangling in the stream. Everybody should aqua dump at least once in their lifetime.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast. I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito.
I'm Todd Blasino, and I could use that wind right now, Jackie, because it is hot as tits in there.
It's a stale unit, as you put it.
It's probably the best way to describe
it. That's disgusting.
It's probably probably the best band name that we've maybe even come across or whatever, or even stumbled across. But it is cooking. The summertime is heat is on. It's on and popping, and we are back, gang. We are back after a little bit of a break. How's everybody feeling?
Good.
Refreshed.
Refreshed, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you guys for tuning in, for sticking with us after our little hiatus, our little summer vacay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, while you're here, why don't you click that like, subscribe, leave a comment, 5-star review, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, share us on your Instagram stories, and tag us so we know, and we can say, well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. As always, share it with your friends. And I guess the people that you don't care about, call the, like your 7th grade science teacher that told you that you were never going to amount to anything.
The alcoholic
and show
guy. I remember him.
This podcast. I don't know if that's going to confirm his suspicions of you really going nowhere if you just contacted him after all of these years to put him onto this show.
But I feel like he'd appreciate it nonetheless.
I'm here, Mr. Fair. I know you got a big collection of Bunsen burners. It's
Oh,
about
man.
time you put on that Show Me Yours podcast.
I haven't thought about a Bunsen burner in years.
I love me a Bunsen burner.
Yeah.
I think we do have them. You guys have a dab rig. That's basically what that is.
Absolutely.
I like the sparker thing that lit the Bunsen burner.
Oh,
remember like the tongs looking thing with the circle.
Yeah, I have one of those in my tool bag. So I get to pop off and do some flame work every now and again. And, it's nice. Yeah, that's good. Getting out of the trade, honestly, as plumbers will know. Everything's moving to plastic pipe. We're gluing stuff now. They took all the skill out of the trade. We used to burn stuff. You know what I mean? And it's slowly going the way of the buffalo. But that's just kind of the way things go. I'm not gonna get down on it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get down on it because fuck my job. And if you are listening to this at work, then fuck your job
but
too.
But now you get to huff glue because it's plastic.
It's not bad. One for you, one for me. You know what I mean? It's not bad. Life is okay. But do anything that you can to do as little work for the next hour as possible. And you know what I mean? Kick it with us.
Yeah, blame it on us.
Yeah, we'll take the heat for that.
Take the heat.
Again, show your boss, and then, well, either way, I think we can, get into the spirit of the sode here. I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Jake Warren and everybody that put Turbo Fest together.
Oh, yes.
That was an absolute blast. We were out there with Kevin Von Helvet. He kind of brought us out there, and we met so many cool bands. There is a band, Ty. Cool, are you familiar with Rebel Priest?
No.
Any fan of metal or just fucking swinging dick, having a good time in Vancouver should get to see this band. Check them out. They have a couple albums on Spotify, but it's like fucking like a Judas Priest thing. They do a high kicks.
Get them on.
I talked to them. I talked to them in the crowd. We're definitely putting those feelers out there, but you know what I mean. So many cool bands, Modern Terror, and Rebel Priest. So definitely kind of took the weekend for us. But so many great shows, and I did a different audience every night, and kind of packed out stuff.
Yeah, it was usually for if you're doing comedy at like a music festival, you don't expect it to be good.
A la Ty's story.
I was going to say,
you
guys had a great time at Turbo Fest.
Ty has a very different experience. But yeah, the punk rock, they were a great comedy crowd. They were so into it there. And there was we did it at the Legion Hall. and Gibson's is the first night, and Seashell the second and the third night. And it was packed out. Like there were tons of people there, and super into comedy.
And but like when you're in a Legion Hall, you can't wear like you have to like respect the
there's
the rules
a no hat rule. Yeah.
So
you sign in.
The first time that I ever did comedy without a hat on my head, I did a half hour in a fucking Legion Hall with my hair just kind of like wild.
Oh, that's
shit. It was
sick too. You guys got half-hour sets. That's rad.
Man, oh
yeah, we could have done like as long as we wanted. Really,
fucking,
for the last night, Kevin was up there for probably like 45, 50 minutes.
After we all did like at least 20s or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely like a longer show, but everybody was super into it, and it kind of had this vibe that the end of the comedy show isn't like the end of the night kind of thing. Nobody was winding down because we're about to go see a bunch of bands come on too, right? So like kind of the stoke
still
level
a pregame
is still rising.
Good pregame,
and
very
everyone
cool.
came for the comedy show too. Like you wouldn't expect them to give a shit at all, but people came out to see it, and I gotta tell you, they ate up the cancer kid bit. Oh my god! The amount of people, the amount of people that came up to me after those shows is probably more than any other show.
Like, that's awesome.
Crazy.
Jackie's fucking killing out there. They're telling me that my shit's a little soft. Like apparently I'm not hard enough for the community that I love. But oh man, Jackie's out there just absolutely destroying every night. And to see something from like the ground floor like that or whatever, and I hope that it goes for 100 years and it just gets bigger and bigger.
Is this like the first year?
Yeah,
first year.
Super sick.
Hell
yeah, it was so cool to be a part of it, and hopefully, we'll be back next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Be an excuse to come back to the West Coast.
100%. And if you've never been to Sunshine Coast, just go check that out.
Oh,
I didn't even know that.
God.
That's what I do. It's such a fucking
shout
nice
out
place.
to our Airbnb. It was so we rolled the dice on this Airbnb.
Buddy.
No reviews. We were the first guests to ever stay there.
Very unagnew.
Yeah, right. But there weren't a lot of options, and this was on the cheaper side, and it was like a whole house that you were renting out in a private yard and stuff. And so I was like, okay, like, let's just, like, go for this one. Like, it's in Gibson. It's a pretty small town. So, like, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
And we get there, and it's, like, kind of like this old cabin right by the water. Has this, like, really, like, super private yard all around because there's there's neighbors and stuff, but there's so much, like, plants and trees and growth that you can't see anyone. But like we got there and it's like this old, like I said, it's like an old cabin vibe, and I created this whole narrative in my head where it's like this thing that the people who rent it out, it's this thing that they do where they get people in, and it's kind of like this death cabin where they like rig it and they come in and like they like kill the guests, and that's why there's no reviews, and they tell every guest that they're the first one to stay there kind of thing.
The whole reason they're murdering people is scared of a Yelp review.
Exactly. Want to protect the business.
We can't risk these people going on TripAdvisor at all costs. We gotta kill them.
Yeah,
it's an old bathroom. They got a one hot tap and a cold tap. You know what I mean? So you really have to kind of go from one side to the other to get the hands washed.
Yeah, you have to like do the cold and then splash in the hot and kind of like mix it together in your hand.
Two separate faucets.
Yeah. Because I've talked about this.
Like you just made the dials. I'm like, pretty normal. I'm like, Jesus, for a plumber, this guy's really having a hard time figuring this out. Oh, the two faucets.
Yeah, so because you're like, because the hot is fucking hot.
Yeah.
So you can't start hot.
No.
So you got to start cold and then splash in the hot and kind of like make it warm in your hands. It's weird when you're washing your face. Yeah. And
very cool.
But okay, on that note, actually no, I'll come back to that. But yeah, it was a great time. And that Airbnb does have one review now. So
did you hit him with it? Did you splash him with a review?
Of course,
Nice.
Of course I splashed him
Lock
with a
your
review.
Doors and windows, they're coming for you.
Yeah, but you had a different experience.
Oh yeah. That's great that everyone was so enthusiastic about seeing comedy. That's great. I was at a outdoor festival with about 1,500 Irish people that didn't want to see comedy. They did want to do drugs and listen to DJs most of the evening.
Definitely a different vibe, you know.
Way different vibe.
I don't know the Shuswap, really nice, like
great
it's
area.
gorgeous. It's lovely
Super
over there.
cool.
Yep.
But it was camping, but it's not camping. Like I literally have my fishing pole with me, and I'm like, I'm ready to to go, and it's like the music doesn't stop until 5:30 a.m.
Oh.
And we're at this like artist camp, so we're kind of away from like the
party
super gong show, but it's still like a fucking gong show.
Yeah.
And I was just so like, what time? When are we doing the comedy? I'm thinking 8.
Yeah.
Like the music, there's shit all day on the main stage, and then they're like, we're performing comedy. This is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's at this other stage that's like hundreds of yards, kind of between like the people, like the general population, like campsite, the comedy stage, and then the main stage. And it's like this rickety ass fucking pavilion that they've thrown together.
Say a stage is
I was gonna say, you're calling it a stage.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was elevated.
It was elevated.
So there's one speaker when we get there, and it's just a giant sub like in front, and I'm like, well, this is overkill, and I don't see any other speakers, which we actually do need.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we're just gonna be
dick
jokes. Like, it's just so fucking bad. We knew it was gonna be pretty bad, like going into it.
Shout out to Dara Turner
for hooking up this sweet gig.
Yeah, it's a sweet gig.
He asked me weeks and weeks before about it, and then kind of kept reminding me every show and stuff like that. Like, man, you got to come out to this thing. You got to come out to this thing. And at first, I just kind of like, you know what I mean? I like an adventure, and you know what I mean? I like to get, I like
trying
to get
say
weird.
Yes to things.
Yes, but at the same time, like I'm also invested in Jackie's happiness as well. And I was just like realized, like I just kind of looked at her in the face. And I was like, no, I'm not even going to bring this up.
He asked me too, but I actually was I happened to be on the island while that was happening, so it was kind of perfect. Like, oh man, I'm so sorry, I'm actually out of town.
It was I knew how bad that gig was going to be. Specifically, wind.
Like, oh god, it's all my fears of the cabin coming true.
Yeah, totally. You wrote that review.
Yeah.
His latch is shut.
It's the fucking.
Where's his chains come
who's
from?
the fucking? Oh, why is his name escaping me? The guy, the news anchor, Matt Lauer, who had the button on his desk. Close the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go
As
on.
the window goes, mood lighting comes on.
So we knew it was gonna be that bad. So we booked the Effie for the Friday. I was like, well, why don't we just do that? This will at least pay for gas and stuff.
Yeah.
Rad time, as you guys both know. Love it. The worst time I've had there, to be honest, like it was like the least amount of people.
Right.
And like they were into it, but like not like we've had some fucking bangers.
Yeah,
so
shout out to Effie. That was like the
rad
couple times
people. Good to see Aaron and all those guys. Crone jumped on the show again.
Nice.
Pete Ferris on there. Kate Belton headlined. It was she fucking crushed.
Hell yeah.
And then we went camping to this fucking horrible festival. And
so
it was,
did you leave from
you
the
went
Effie to the
straight
woods
from
that
there
night?
to the.
So this is what happened. It was so fucking chaotic. We went there first.
Okay.
Dropped off our camping shit. Got our
Right.
like fucking wristbands and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff. Not even a lanyard. Come on.
Come on.
VIP around here.
Yeah, right.
One
You're not
fucking-
getting the fucking land.
None of that. No.
Performer.
just a tan line that I ended up getting on there.
Did you set up your camping stuff, or did you?
I set up my tent and just threw my
Okay,
shit in
okay,
there. Yeah.
okay, good.
It's pretty.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And then I'm like, I'm setting up my tent now because we're gonna come back after
And
the
you're
Effie.
not
It's
gonna
dark.
wanna
I'm not wearing
fucking-
a headlamp and trying to set up
Yeah.
a tent is
Good
not
call.
a good time.
Yeah.
Not a good,
But again, not my first fucking rodeo.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It was super fun. The DJs are cool. I don't mind like DJ sets.
Yeah.
But like, I'd be honest with you, it's like they play for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like each set is insanely long for not really a reason.
Yeah.
When they do the switch over, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Because it's like the one guy kind of has a vibe or whatever,
Yeah.
and the music never stops. It's not like, oh, we're gonna reset
Right.
for the next
Totally.
band or whatever.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they'll start playing something, and then the other guy will come in and fucking like put his
Right.
little stank on it, and then it goes in, and then he kind of gives like an intro of like, this is what the next 3 hours of your life is gonna be.
Yeah.
And you're like, sick. And then you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that was like when we got there. When you're at night, it's like it's pretty sick. Like it's fucking neon lights everywhere. There's over 1,000 people there. It was
Hell
a
yeah,
good
dude.
time.
Yeah.
They can be a lot of fun. Like
It was very busy, but like walking through a festival the next day is like walking through Woodstock. Like it's just like,
I mean, any overnight
it's
camping
grim, it's
festivals
grim.
really
Yeah.
gets pretty
I haven't
rough
done that for
pretty
so
quick.
long since my 20s. So it's
Yeah.
like I've done Shambhala and all that stuff. So I was like, this is not. I had a homegirl drive up from Kamloops to pick me up, and then we went to another lake, and it was fantastic. That was
Yeah, as long as you
my
have an
main-
exit option.
I did have a good exit
yeah,
option, yeah.
which
And then
is good.
there was so like it got so bad for them because I'm like I can't like you just fucking get so fucked up
Yeah.
and like you're beating in the hot sun. That was the worst part.
That is the fucking shittiest part with outdoor festivals is that you're stuck outside in the sun. Like there's no like option.
There's never any
no
shade. I get it. We're
shade.
driving up to
No
we're in the fucking swap. It's
Yeah.
like there's trees everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, let's
And
pick
some
up
for
the one
field
clear
they
cut.
pick. Exactly.
Yeah, and you have
Exactly.
nowhere to go. And like some fucking, it's nice that you were able to leave. Some fucking festivals won't allow like re-entry and shit. So you're
Yeah.
like really
was-
fucking
That's
stuck
Champlain
in
style.
there.
When you're in there,
Yeah.
you're stuck. And I think we did
Yeah.
Champlain for like 3 or 4 fucking days or something like that. And I love, tripping on acid and partying as much as the next guy. But like you said, if you can notice like a couple like DJs like distinct kind of flavor and stuff like this guy named Beardy Man and like Fractal Forest. I remember that being like a fucking wicked time, but like, yeah, after like the, multiple days of it, like I just remember the little bit of sleep that I got. We were relatively close to one of the stages, like our camp was set up at Champlain, and the little bit of sleep that you do get, I'm sleeping with like maybe like a folded up hoodie or whatever on the floor of a tent with like the, everything's like open or whatever because it's so fucking hot.
Yeah.
And you can just feel the ground shaking from the base, and you're like, this is where I'm gonna be for the next. Like it's a little bit.
Yeah, so
I mean-
we pieced out immediately after our sets on Sunday because like,
Yeah.
even Will was like, I can't fucking. Like,
Yeah.
the
Hell
younger
yeah.
the younger
Do this
people were like,
anymore.
I can't do this, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's get the fuck in. So we
Totally.
went.
Yeah.
Will's
Yeah.
mom, bless her, let us crash out of her place.
Oh,
In
that's
Kelowna,
so
so like we
nice.
had a shower and all that shit. Like,
Oh,
oh, thank God.
that's
Went and
so
watched
nice.
Indiana Jones. It was a good time.
Oh, so that sounds lovely.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that was it was a good time. And it was a sick crew.
Yeah.
Like especially being the dude that doesn't like one. I don't really do like those party drugs, and like I do hallucinogenics. Not in that environment.
Oh,
like it's
God,
just
no,
not
it sounds
at all.
terrible.
I don't use acid or mushrooms
Yeah.
as like a party
Yeah.
drug. So like
Yeah.
it just
No.
not fully up my alley, but
Yeah.
it was still pretty. I'm glad I did it. It was still
It's a
really
say
fun.
yes to life moment.
Yeah.
Go out and
It was,
get
and
weird.
like
Yeah.
I came up on the weekend, so it was all good because
Oh, yeah.
we had an extra like the pay for what they wanted to pay us was not that good, but they also gave us an extra ticket.
Right,
So we
that's
just
what
flipped
Dara was
those,
saying.
and then it was like it
Oh,
was
like
actually
that's
worth it. It was
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Also, like what you were saying about the DJ, like when they switch over, like I can see like when I was like younger and like was doing like, party drugs and stuff, that being like, fuck yeah, the music never stops. That's fucking awesome. But again, now like the idea of just like it doesn't stop. Like, there's no fucking
my guy.
break.
Yeah, the thing, you do with outhouses and fucking like,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
like the river is like kind of gnarly because like everyone's showering and doing that in there,
Yeah.
but it's like they're also pooping for sure. They're pooping.
Oh, for sure. Survivor
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Aqua dump.
I've done it in the Columbia
Duh.
River, and you want the stream to be moving faster, but
Yeah.
like
in the river is fucking
the
gnarly.
feeling
shit in
is
the
like
river,
you
yeah.
you'll never laugh as hard. I think because you find like a nice crack in a rock that you can just kind of get your your fingers in, and then your feet just dangling in the stream. Everybody should aqua dump at least once in their life.
time.
It's great. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
But oh no, it was a good week. It was like a good excuse to kind of get out and go camping or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's always just like nice going up there. It was
Yeah.
we like went into Chase for breakfast. It was like me,
Yeah.
Crone, and Kyle and Randy J. I think, and we went in there for breakfast. And it was like our car almost got stuck in the Chase Canada Day parade,
Oh,
which is essentially a bunch
no.
of Shriners.
Oh no.
Oh no! Or it's like, oh no, are we stuck in Chase and don't have to go back to this fucking?
Oh fuck yeah.
They got the mics and shit sorted for the second day, but the first day was like, no, like Cass and them and Amy, they didn't have a mic.
That's awful.
There's a big generator.
Was there anyone did anyone come to watch?
The second day, I was gonna say night. No, it's at noon. I
Holy
think it did. It's probably like
shit.
10 people. Because
Yeah.
it's everyone just walking from their camp.
I was gonna
with
say you have
floaties
people walking by being
going like, we're
what
gonna
the
go to the river.
Yeah,
what is that?
Yeah.
They think they're like tripping. They're like, do
Yeah.
you fucking see this
Yeah,
right now,
that's
too?
just it. Just
Oh
fucking
my
high
God.
noon
That's just
robbery.
awful booking,
Yeah.
man. Like at noon.
That's
in the,
it's
like,
someone who
high
doesn't
noon in the
know
fucking
anything
desert.
about comedy who was like, yeah, it'd be fun to
You
have
know,
comedy
like,
here. Let's throw
The
like
first
a little.
day is like,
yeah.
we're like, where's Dare? Like, Dare's the only guy that's not there.
He booked
Right?
the thing. That's awesome.
So we're like, where the fuck is Dare? So I go back up to like the hardest camp where at that.
Yeah.
This is a Saturday morning, and I know they're up all fucking.
Yeah,
I
oh,
went to
yeah.
bed at like 1 on Friday.
yeah, yeah.
And So like, where's like Dare? And then I go. We were kind of like right beside these huge like storage containers, like these green storage containers.
Right.
And I look around the corner. He's just fucking out cold.
Oh,
There was
right,
a quick half second. I mean, first thing I saw were these like Narcan kits when I got there. All this shit. I was like, oh no, is he fucking? And then I'm like, see it breathing. I'm like, all right, we're going. Kicked him into safety position. I was like, all right. He was just trying to get some shade. It was like the only amount of shade in the day was like the little like a half a foot casted from the fucking from like this huge dumpster thing.
And it's fading fast.
I remember there was one summer on the island they have this great music festival in Victoria called Rock the Shores. That's like a kind of a rock music festival, and me and Maddie and Shelby went there one summer, and we were looking forward to it all summer. It was like 5440 was there. Yeah, so good live too. Like so much fun.
Wine.
And
how dare you, sir?
No, 5440 like the band. From
UB40. I was thinking. Oh shit. This is a music podcast.
Spot, dude.
Blind spot.
But it was a bunch of great bands, Current Swell, and the headliner was the Black Keys. So we were looking forward to this like for months. We had these tickets and stuff. We get there, 5440 goes on early in the day, so we're right up by the stage having a great time. As the day goes on, you're there. It's not a camping festival, so you're just there for the day, and there's no re-entry. So you're just stuck outside, no shade or anything like that. And so by the time fucking Black Keys go on, you've been there for like fucking 12 hours sitting out in the sun. You have to get food, you have to stand in line for like an hour to get a fucking burrito.
And it's fucking $40 for a burrito too. Yeah.
Literally the only shade we could find was the area where they had all the outhouses, and then they had like a urinal garden.
Oh no.
You know, and then there was like this hill literally right in front of the urinals that had shade, and so we were just like lying there for most of the day just in front of the urinals,
just listening to trickling piss.
Yeah. But anyways, and so then by the time Black Keys went on, we barely stayed for them at all because we were like, this fucking day is forever. So yeah, that does kind of, it's fucking shitty.
I was trying to think about it too, because I was like, oh, like, is that you know, you're 36 at a fucking festival, so you're like, am I like, did I ever like this? And I was like, I don't think I did, actually.
That's the thing.
And I was like, I don't.
You build it up in your head like it's going to be awesome. Like the lead up to it, you're like, this is going to be awesome. And then as time goes on, you remember it differently.
Like, like, no, it was not. I didn't ever really have that great of a time.
It's never that much fun. It always kind of sucks.
Yeah, I'm also the dude that's like, oh my God, are they doing an encore? Like, wrap it up. Like, I, you know, like, it's serious. It could be the Beatles, and I'm like, let's fucking. I mean,
for like an EDM festival, I'm gonna have to agree, but I have to do a hard disagree as far as like the festivals that I like going to and stuff like that. Even in the Vegas Sun and stuff, Park Rock Bowling was just like fucking absolutely like insane. But like I do. I can still,
But I mean, that's different because you're staying in like a hotel and stuff. I mean, like when
right
you're
down
fucking
the road. Like camping and outdoor. I don't fucking like camping in general anyway. I'm not an outdoors. You know what I mean? So miss me with that shit when it's like.
I love fucking camping and shit like that, but that was not what that was.
I just don't have the energy anymore. I just can't stay on my feet that long. I just get tired. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
But okay, so a couple blind spots.
All right, here we go.
Circling back to the Airbnb, and we were talking last time, our first blind spot segment, we were talking about how sometimes we can't figure out showers.
Sure, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this fucking shower in this Airbnb.
Oh my God.
It was like, you get there and it's like an old fucking like clawfoot bathtub.
Very cool.
It's like a curtain that's hanging by
Dog
like
shit.
these like hanging from the ceiling, and it kind of like
just
goes
the loop around.
Does the loop around, and then the
French return.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Sounds like something
this guy
sexual.
knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
But
the shower, it's like.
This is when I dated X again.
So that's not bad.
It's like the opposite of an Irish exit.
French return. I just want everybody to know I'm here.
I'm here.
I came back.
Bonjour.
No one even noticed you left.
Yeah, exactly. I know we talked a lot of shit about her when she was gone, guys, but you have to give her another chance.
But this shower, so it's one of those ones where like you turn it on and it's like a kind of hose that goes up and there's like a place to like put it up top kind of thing. You can
unclip it kind of.
But like the length of the hose, if you put it up, it would kink. And so you couldn't fucking put the shower
green hose
above you.
Exactly,
Like you couldn't fuck the shower. You literally couldn't put the shower head above you. Otherwise the water wouldn't fucking come out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's for you. You're definitely screwed.
Dude, I was fucked. Yeah, I was just kind of
You're
hand
just
washing
having
and
to
stuff.
fucking,
Yeah.
like,
Do the old birth. Yeah.
hose
I was
down
also
in
drinking
this
pretty heavily at a
fucking-
punk rock music festival, though, so I wasn't really showering.
Yeah.
I mean, but I did have one or two bouts with it.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was just a short one because that shower threw me through a loop. But so this other blind spot, I don't know if I would call this a blind spot or just like me being an idiot.
That's usually what most blind, like 5440 and UB40 aren't the same band.
Neither are Sloan and AC/DC, but I made that mistake before too.
You know what's so funny about that is that this isn't going to make any sense to the listeners at all.
Give them a little
But
context.
so last summer when we were doing our little road trip and the first night of the road trip, we dabbled in some mushrooms in my parents' backyard. Such a fun night, and we were listening to music. This AC/DC song came on, and then Ty was talking about how much he loves Sloan, and then there was a lot of confusion in this moment.
I definitely thought it was a Sloan song at first.
Yeah,
For the first
yeah.
chord, I was like, "Oh, that's the Sloan
Yeah.
song," and then like in my head, that's all I heard.
Yeah,
next,
and it
like-
wasn't until like he started singing, and I just like was so because I was feeling the mushrooms before you guys were, so by that point I was already like looking at the fucking brick, being like, "What the fuck is going on over there?" Anyways, this Sloan song came on my Spotify yesterday, and it started. And at first I was like, "Fuck, this sounds like an AC/DC song."
Oh,
Yeah.
they are. Like,
They
no,
are
there was.
silly,
I'm telling you, like that
Yeah.
chord. Like it was like the same. It's
Yeah,
the
'cause
same
it wasn't
start.
Back
It
in Black
is.
or anything like that, right? Like
Yeah.
it
No,
wasn't like
no.
an immediately identifiable fucking Thunderstruck or something like that, right? But
No, and it was just
No.
the first bit because it took me like 20 more seconds. To be like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
Yeah.
This is not. But it was like the same
like,
like
I just say that
tone.
out loud.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like played on an SG guitar through more like
It is
a
a
similar
very
tone.
similar tone.
Yeah. Not much of a good fuck up.
But so I was just on the island watching my mom's dogs. So I was staying at her house for a week, and so I get there on a Friday, and she has like this Napoleon portable grill in her backyard. So I was fucking grilling. I was doing like tofu, cauliflower steaks, grilling peppers and onions. Like I was
Skewers?
fucking. I didn't do skewers.
never grilled before, turned into a grill master.
Yeah, I've
Nice.
never grilled before, and now I'm like the fucking grill queen.
Oh yeah.
So I was cooking the whole time I was there. Every night I was making dinners, and so I get there on the Friday, making dinners every night, and I believe it was the Monday or Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday where I was making dinner, seasoning this cauliflower to put on the grill, put on some pepper. And my mom has like these 3 salt bowls. And so there's like a coarser salt, like they're all like different coarseness or whatever. So I've been using this like table salt to salt my vegetables and stuff every night up until this point. And so I get there Friday, it's Tuesday, and cooking dinner every night, seasoning vegetables every night. And I'm about to put this cauliflower on the grill. I hadn't eaten that day. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. I'm just going to eat one of these. I'm going to eat some like raw cauliflower before I put it on the grill. So I pop one in my mouth and I'm like, that's sugar. That I I'm salting with sugar.
You're being so healthy.
For fucking 5 nights.
Refined sugar.
And also too, like you're noticing some grill marks and some serious caramelization.
I was
from
gonna
the
say, I
sugar.
was like, man, how's that caramelization?
I'd been salting with sugar for 5 nights
Salting
before I
with sugar?
realized that it was sugar.
I love it.
And there were even points where like I took things off the grill and put more salt on it,
little
you
finishing,
know, little
yeah.
finishing salt. And I didn't notice that it was sugar until 5 nights in.
So
we can call that a blind spot, maybe.
Yeah.
Sweet cauliflower.
Yeah. But it's like, who puts a bowl of sugar next to 2? It was like salt, sugar, salt, pepper. So I was like, who fucking puts sugar there? But like, I definitely should have noticed before 5 nights of eating
Usually
sugar.
what you're working with is like I know what you're talking about, like the jars.
Yeah.
Right? Usually there's like a ceramic.
Yeah.
And it says sugar or something
right.
like that.
Yeah. This is pretty rustic. It's
Are
like
you
wood
seasoning
bowls.
with are you dipping in with your fingers or with like a spoon?
So my mom has these
with
like
a fun dip stick.
Yeah. I'm putting my whole tongue in there. Yeah. My mom has these little spoons that she has in them. So I was, but there were a couple times that I used my fingers. I can't even use that excuse.
Right,
yeah, I was kind of going back and forth, depending on.
Because like they do feel distinctly different.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
they do.
But
I mean,
if you
you're
think
fucking,
it's
if
salt.
Oh, if I'm in the moment, dude,
yeah,
if
and I'm like
having a
fucking,
couple
I'm
beers,
salt,
the music's
and the
on.
pepper's right beside it,
yeah.
and the reason why, because at first I had used.
That's tough. That's tough.
I had used the coarse salt, and I was like, this is really good, but it's almost like a bit too, like I can't control it as much. It's almost like
put my finger
I can't quite put my finger. It was almost like a bit too much to be seasoning before putting on a grill kind of thing. Like it was too much salt, and so I was like, I'll use the table salt instead.
That's fucking
yeah. So I was eating sugared vegetables for 5 nights.
Fucking candied vegetables.
I mean, not the worst thing in the world that could happen, but like I'm a salt freak. I don't know. I'd feel like
I remember even being like, man, this needs more salt, and just put
How
more,
is this possible?
just putting more sugar on it.
that rules.
That's
so hard.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's good with like it'd be good with vegetables though. Like I've done that with like yams in the oven. Like you put like marshmallows on top of them.
Oh yeah, classic.
Yeah,
classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know if that's like a blind. It was like a situational blind spot in that I was blind to the fact.
Or more
that it was,
literal blinds.
Yeah, that it was sugar and hot salt, and it took me 5 days to realize.
Which is crazy because you went
so
out to like to the island to like to relax and like look after the dogs and stuff like that. You came back with diabetes, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's this shit, it happens.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
So another thing that I wanted to talk about. So we talk about conspiracy theories a lot. So I've stumbled upon one that has really sparked my interest.
Terminator?
No.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So I don't know. So this is kind of a long-standing conspiracy theory, but it has recently come to my attention. And it's music adjacent.
Okay.
So there is a widely believed theory that Avril Lavigne died in 2003.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so she now she has a substitute named Melissa, who has been standing in for her
The
since
name?
2003.
Oh,
yeah, they have like a full name. And so I was watching this video on it, but I couldn't stop laughing because all of their evidence for this is that her style has changed and her voice has changed and her writing has changed since she was 16 years old.
She's not wearing those tutus over jeans anymore. Lost the tie. What's happening?
Some people just change. You know what I mean? And I'm not here for it.
Fucking hold on. Last night, Dara was like, we're outside, and he's like, "Oh, it's good to see you." Like, how was that wedding that you went to? Like, oh, it's great. Like, and I was like, "Oh yeah, rocking the Vans. That was a tight look." Or that. And then Dara's like, "Yeah, you were like Avril Lavigne," and I was like, "Oh well, now you've just done it." That's the nicest thing Jackie's ever heard.
Yeah, you're rocking that look a bit more now.
Yeah.
Just walking around in my bridesmaid's dress.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I just thought this theory was fucking hilarious.
I remember this when I came. I remember when she did kind of come out, and it looked like maybe there was some work.
She's definitely had work done to her face.
Yeah. I think it was around that time that happened, and it'd be like, it's a different person.
Yeah, and it was like because her style, because she kind of went away for a bit. And then she came back and her style of music had changed and stuff, which is very typical for being in the music industry. You know, they want you to appeal to a wider audience, and you also just grow and change as an artist.
From No Doubt to Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, they're giving her the whole like fucking. These people also didn't like when Bob Dylan went electric.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like one of these analysis they were doing was this music video she put out for her second album, and it kind of has all these things flashing in between, and one of these things that flashes in between are just these like pages, and it says like A plus D or whatever, and their analysis was that it means Avril Lavigne plus dead. Avril Lavigne is dead, but she was also married to Derek Whibley.
Yeah, that's where I went. I was like, oh, like plus Derek.
Yeah, and I was like, are you guys
she's married
stupid?
She is with Chad Kruger?
No, they've divorced.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she's been married to a couple. I was always
rock,
rock stars.
Yeah. Apparently Chad Kruger is like a huge asshole.
I've never heard very good things about him. They were just in town.
They were just in town.
I was talking about let's get into this for a second.
Yeah.
They have managed to carve out this thing for themselves where it's almost like a TikTok hate watch. It's almost like enjoyable.
Yeah.
My blinds are a metronome.
It's like a metronome right now.
Hey, Johnny.
But you know, they had those things back. We were talking about it. They were in town the day after Blink-182 was in town.
Right.
And we were talking about it. And fucking, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and say it. Nickelback had some fucking bangers. Like fucking Silver Side
That's
Up.
the whole consensus now.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. In the last 3 years, everyone's been like, they've switched their narrative, being like, this is the fucking worst band that's ever existed, to be like, they did have some fucking bangers. And it's like, there's definitely some songs.
I think the longer that you hold on, you can like outlive the hate, which is insane.
That's kind of what it is. If you just keep doing what the fuck you're doing, then it's like...
They never asked for anything, right? Never shit on anybody, and they were just kind of like the easy kid to pick on. Like,
it's hard to hate on that after a while. Like, I don't keep doing it. So they're selling out fucking arenas.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, and I think like at the end of the day, like what are you? Like what's worth your time to invest in? And like I'm old enough now that like I know what I like, and I know that it's not for everybody. So like that just goes to show that I'm probably not the audience for everything. You know what I mean, right? There's a whole lot of stuff out there that just isn't made for me.
Yeah.
And you know, that's totally fine. But on the other side of that like a band like Nickelback, if Ravi fucking Kana messaged me today saying, do you want to go to a Nickelback show? And I'd be like, with you in that environment? Fuck yeah, man.
Of course,
like,
any live gig.
And another thing too, right, is that you can kind of look at it as like from like the nerd perspective or whatever, that it's just like generic commercial fucking radio rock or whatever, right? There's not a whole lot of substance there or anything like that. But you know what? They sell out massive fucking stadiums, and like people out in fucking like Langley and shit. My auntie loves her some motherfucking
and it's
Nickelback,
not some
and I love my auntie, so what the hell am I gonna do? You know what I mean? You can put that shit on in a backyard at a barbecue, and it's not gonna piss everybody off. Like
it's not like it's if there was a point where I feel like they were it was like fun to hate like them,
of course,
but now it's like people just generally like them. Like they literally they have a good time.
Hey,
like
man, power to them.
It would be a fun concert to go to. They had so many hits, and they got, when they were here, they got whatever they were doing, like a star on Granville or whatever the fuck that ceremony was.
I love that they're gonna get a star and somebody's gonna fucking overdose.
Yeah,
on it
right. Like such a weird, which is not unlike the Hollywood Walk of Fame either. Just such a fucking ridiculous concept.
Just one random star outside McDonald's.
Yeah, like, what the fuck are we doing? Yeah. Like, why are they doing this shit, these like walks of fames, and there's the worst area of these cities? It's ridiculous. But no, I would totally go to it. I wouldn't pay a ticket. I wouldn't pay for a ticket to see them.
Yeah, that's one of those like get invited.
But I would totally, and I would have a great time. It's so many hits,
man.
So many hits.
The same thing with like Poison or Cheap Trick or any of that shit that's not for me, man. If they're playing in like Abbotsford or something, and my mom wants to go, let's fucking go.
Okay.
I mean, we'll get fucking.
If Poison comes to town, we're paying money to see it. Rose has its thorn.
We're bringing Lady's Choice with us, dude.
Oh hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think if you're gonna, that's like a great example that if you're gonna go to one of these things or whatever, is just build up like the best time that you could possibly have, and just like assemble the perfect crew. Don't have anybody there that's gonna suck or be too cool for school and shit like that. Like just go and jump in. That's the thing with
you could go to a weird Irish festival in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. Was it mostly Irish people there?
All it was.
Oh,
it
okay,
was and the ratio was
crazy.
not good. It was just like dudes. It was a lot of dudes.
No.
A lot of dudes.
That's fucking pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
But I learned that very quickly at Champlain, because I just knew that these people aren't necessarily like, you know, like my regular kind of like they're all fucking hippies, and they're all talking about shit that I don't really know about, and this music isn't necessarily for me, so I can be like a fucking dick about it, but you're stuck in here for fucking 4 days, so you better jump in the fucking pool and get cool with it, otherwise it's going to be a huge bummer, right? Yeah. So I think that's just like, that's good advice for life. You know what I mean? In general.
Yeah.
Right? Jump in the fucking pool.
Have a fucking time.
Yeah. Oh, I could go for a fucking pool right
we
now.
need to find somebody with that pool. I'll go for an above ground pool
better
right now.
God, I know. I wish this has long been my number one complaint about Vancouver, and why it's so great to leave Vancouver in the summer, is that there's no like convenient swimming spots in the city. Like all like the beaches, the ocean, like those spots, the ocean is gross in those spots. I love swimming in the ocean, but like all like the beach, it's just so
even cases like
it's gross.
Yeah, you have to go to like Third Beach to maybe get a decent thing.
The Lynn Canyon spot's pretty sick.
I mean, like there are spots
but
you
it's
can
like
go
it's still
to,
a little
but
bit
you
away.
You have to make it a day. You know, you have to fucking.
Sure.
And I fucking hate that, because like on the island, it's like so easy to find like a swimming spot.
It's annoying to live around water and not be able to swim.
Yeah, and I love swimming. Like I would fucking like live in the water in the summer, like if I could, like fuck. And it's just, I hate it about Vancouver. You're
We're
just
drying
like so
out.
hot.
Yeah, this sucks. Has Montreal got any swimming?
No.
Okay.
It's worse than Vancouver.
Fuck.
There's not even any really. Yeah, it's more difficult to find a swimming spot there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to bring it down. So, are you opposed to getting like
but
like
the
a kiddie
thing
pool
is,
kind of thing, putting it on the deck?
I would love that.
Okay.
The thing is, though, in Montreal, is that we can go to my family's cottage in Ontario.
That's true.
So, anyways. But okay, I have a couple, so we can either get into foot fetish, or we can go into this this fun story, this otter story.
I mean, por qué no los dos? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's jump. Let's just dive right in.
Okay, which one do we want to start with?
I got the seal's very funny to me.
Okay, let's do the seal. Okay, so an otter in Santa Cruz.
Otter. How dare I?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I'm getting really big into otters lately. You know what I mean?
Otters are great.
Yes, you are.
Otters are adorable, actually.
Yeah, they do the handhold thing.
Well, you know what's funny is
Have you seen
that.
Oh no! I just see them like the mom just like cuddling the little baby, like swimming on her back or whatever. I like that one. Or smashing the shell with the clam.
Look at the ones from the zoo here are very funny.
Well, so I've actually gone full circle on otters, because as a kid you're like, otters are adorable. You know, you see them fluffy, floating and stuff. But where I live, you literally would see otters running across the street. Like they're all over the place, and they out of water, they look like giant rats.
Yeah.
Like my mom always calls them rats of the sea, because literally like you'd be driving, like you see where my house is, we're literally right across from the marina. Yeah. So if you drive down the road, there'll be otters like running across the street, and it's like this long, like slick, like, and like run into like the trash or whatever. And it's kind of gross when you see them outside of the water or whatever. And so then like growing up, as I got a little older, I was like, man, like otters are kind of gross. Like they're rats of the sea or whatever. But now I've kind of come full circle, and I was harsh towards otters for a bit there, but no, I'm back into them, because I like to watch a lot of nature documentaries, and there's this one on Netflix about like the wildlife on the island and stuff, and there's this otter mom and son duo that they kind of focus on for an episode, and learn a lot of interesting stuff about otters. They're pretty cool little creatures.
Hell yeah.
Tricky. They're little tricksters.
Yeah. So on that note, An otter in Santa Cruz is hassling surfers and stealing their boards.
Locals only, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. An aggressive sea otter in California is hassling locals by riding boards she stole from surfers in the lineup. There's a pretty hilarious picture attached to this article that I'm going to put on the screen for those watching. It's literally a fucking otter riding a surfboard.
If you got punked by any animal and just kind of like took your board, I think an otter is like,
especially in the sea. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other
There's
things
a lot
in
of
San
shit.
Diego that I probably don't want fucking around me.
100%,
Yeah.
right? But like, it's not a great white coming and taking a bite out of it or whatever. But
Yeah.
like,
You're
I
like,
enjoy
okay.
the company. I love my cat. You know what I mean? I'll fuck with a dog if it's around. But like any other animal, I don't really fuck with. And especially if something came from beneath the depths,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and surfaced, right, and
Yeah.
looked at me like that, I would run or swim like a little bitch
Yeah.
away so fast that like I feel like it'd be like World Star. It'd be like, look at this pussy swimming away from this adorable little otter.
I am I don't know. I'm probably like too trusting of animals where like I like believe that we have like this connection because they know that I'm their friend because I don't
That's how you
eat
get
them.
fucked up.
Right.
And I'm like they
Then
they
they
can
eat
sense
you.
it.
This bear just
They
mauled you.
sense
Yeah.
the aura, and like I feel like I have a good connection with animals. And we when I was on the island, I was paddleboarding with Shelby in the ocean, and there was this seal that was kind of like bobbing up around us and like
Yeah.
following around and stuff. And Shelby was getting kind of freaked out by this seal, and I was like, "What's the matter? It's just our bud." And she's like, "Seals will like," she's like, "Won't they like fuck with people on paddleboards and stuff?" I was like, "Nah, this guy's cool or
Yeah.
whatever." And so it was kind of similar to this otter situation, but didn't steal our board. He was just hanging out. Steamer Lane is it's a legendary point break nestled along the rocky shores of Santa Cruz, home to swaths of experienced surfers, as well as a 5-year-old female sea otter with a growing reputation for repeatedly confronting surfers and kayakers. Videos across social media show the otter hoisting itself out of the ocean and onto boards while surfers sit back in awe. At times, she's chewed on the boards or forced surfers to surrender their boards altogether. Onlookers in the video can be heard laughing in jest at surfers' misfortune.
That's good people watching right there because I'd like, you want to watch somebody get rad, you know what I mean? Surfing pipeline or something, bro. But then at the same time too, like I want to see somebody.
I want to see an otter
What
get
is that?
rad.
Is that Schadenfreude? What is that you want to see somebody fail? You know what I mean?
Schadenfreude?
Is that is that what that is?
I thought that was I don't know.
Taking
I think
pleasure
it
in
is like
others'
you get
misfortune.
joy. You get joy out of other people's misfortune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same thing, just a visual Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude?
What is that? Schadenfreude.
It's turned into the Swedish
Is that just what
chef
we
there.
call a blind spot?
Schadenfreude.
Perhaps. I felt really dumb too. I was okay. So I need to ask you guys
said the
how
word.
much like stake do you have in you like looking like the smart guy in the room compared to you just being like fuck it and I gotta get out of here. Now I know that's a weird vague question, but I'm gonna give you. I'll give you the scenario. So we're at trivia, and we're about to mark, and I know that there's like a discrepancy with
I hate
something that's
marking
gonna
those
be-
fucking tests.
Dude,
People take it so goddamn
Exactly.
seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
And this one's kind of getting like a little bit tighter, whatever. And the answer to one of the questions is like some like state's national animal, which was a buffalo, right? And I remember marking, and there was about 4 or 5 sheets that all said bison on it, and I marked them wrong. When a buffalo and a bison is apparently like the same thing. But I'm on stage and I just kind of realized that it happened and that I'd already fucked up and that I just kind of knew that this is going to cause like a shitstorm in there. So rather than apologizing and saying that I fucked up, I just pretended that I didn't know that they were a different thing. So I just like, I knew that it was happening. And Justin's like, they all wrote bison and you gave them wrong. And I just looked at him and I was like, what the fuck's a bison? And I just knew it was just
commitment.
It was the easiest way out.
Oh no!
I feel like that would cause way more shit.
No.
It got a huge laugh, and everybody's like, "Oh, that kid's an idiot," and we just moved on.
That's so funny.
And there's no shame in my
fuck's
game.
a
I don't
bison?
mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that everybody in that room thinks that I'm an idiot, and I don't know what a buffalo and a bison are because it's Wednesday night, and I want to get the fuck out of
Why does that change? You think is that a regional thing?
I have no idea. Like a buffalo, like I thought, like head smashed in buffalo jump and all of that, like stuff that we learned.
I feel
in,
like there's
social
like
studies.
minor differences between
Is it just
them.
an American and a Canadian?
Yeah, it's
thing
not
or
like
whatever?
Because bison is still
Good band.
but like the
so it's Buffalo Springfield, but it's not
hey.
Bison Springfield.
yeah, I feel like they're not exactly the same thing. I feel like there's minor differences between them,
Okay.
but I don't know enough about it to say one way or the other. But no, in those situations, I'm incapable of admitting I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I know you. I know you. Yeah, no, you'll hold on all the way home.
Like I will fucking dig my heels in, and I'll like start.
That's so funny when that happens. You like both parties like no.
Oh yeah.
What's happening here?
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
listen, I'm too invested to go back.
Oh
on this.
yeah,
So,
like I've said
what?
way too many things at this point to turn back now.
Exactly. I don't mind taking the L.
I can, and I don't know what it is. I try to be better at it, but it's just like it's physically painful. So in those, especially in like those trivia situations, I'll fucking get combative. I was like, "Do you want receipts? I fucking looked this up. I triple checked it. Do you really want to get into this?"
You
and
have
people
not.
will be like, "Oh, sorry, no.
Yeah.
No. I guess you're right. I guess you're probably right." Like, God damn right, I'm right.
Yeah, right, I'm right. I'm totally wrong. But that's
Remember that. In my head, I'm like, fuck. I hope no one fucking checks me on this. I've thought about it too with trivia. Because, I mean, okay, nothing makes you feel more like an idiot than hosting trivia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I get the first couple times I did it, because I didn't do it that much, but when I first time I did it with like Jeremy, I felt like a kid taking a test.
Yeah.
Or like, but and having to do a presentation at the same time.
Yeah.
It is,
And it was just like, oh fuck! Like I gotta reread all this stuff, and you're doing it with a radio guy,
Yeah.
or even Judge who's done it for fucking ever. So I'm like, I gotta like read all this stuff first. Like I don't know how to
just to rattle them off like that. Yeah.
It is hard when you're filling in, and you don't. I've now that we've been doing it for a while, I've kind of like gotten to the groove and know what to expect, kind of thing, and know how to handle it. But the times where I had to like fill in before we kind of like, took over for Jeremy for a few months here, it was awful because like, especially as a comedian, when you're standing up on stage, you're expecting a reaction to the things that you say. And then when you're just reading off trivia questions, obviously no one's going to laugh or give you anything. And they're all talking amongst each other. Yeah. But you're just standing there like, oh my God, I am dying up here. Like,
for real.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. You just keep like thinking like the paycheck or whatever. And you just start thinking like, oh, okay, like this is paying the rent, which is insane right now. But I'm just eating shit up here.
Yeah.
3 nights a week.
Yeah. I will say it's gotten better, especially, since like me and Justin are such two like diametrically opposed people, and so it makes for kind of like a funny dynamic on
for
stage.
Sure, it's radio.
Now that we've kind of like gone into the groove and stuff, especially not to call Justin out because he's way more of an idiot than I am, and I am like, but like, and I will like, cause I can be a bit of an asshole, and so I'll lean into that on stage and like, call him out on his ridiculous typos and stuff. And like fucking this week he had a question that was like, okay, it was a multiple choice question, and the question was, which state invented the idea of casual Fridays? And the answers were A, Hawaii, B, Vermont, C, San Francisco. Which state?
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking lost my shit on stage. I was like, is that a fucking state, Justin?
I just felt like such an idiot because I was like, yeah, go on. This all checks out here. Who invented
I like how she even teed it up to be like, and then C.
She's right over my fucking
You're
head.
like, D.
I know. As soon as I
Beautiful
said
city,
it, I
but, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
As
The
soon as-
Sunshine State.
I was setting that up, waiting for the big laugh, and then as soon as I said it, I was like, I forgot who I'm in the room with right now. Just looking at you guys like, come on.
We're so in the story. And then what?
So what happened? Fuck. We suck, dude.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Dummy.
Something like that happened actually, like really recently too. Like and it's one of those ones that like if it goes over your head, like I'm okay with it, but like you know the whole job is to get a room full of people laughing. But I'll just ask the question and look like such an idiot up there, and everybody's looking back at me like, "Can you repeat that?" You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember what it was, but it was when I had to do it alone, and showing up one night just through like a scheduling error.
It is.
Yeah, when I came back
Solo?
from,
Oh my god,
it's really sucked. So I showed up, and it was just a miscommunication or whatever. He had told me at a show, you know, like the week before or whatever, that I was going to get Jackie to help out that night, and you know, competition show or whatever, right? You're kind of in your head or whatever, you know, having a couple drinks and you know, totally didn't know. So that was like the day after I got back from Vegas too. So I had no voice. And I'm up there and I have to do like an hour and a half for these.
Oh yeah, remember
people.
Raspy
Like,
John? That was great.
Raspy John was great. Yeah, listeners of the podcast will remember that.
Raspy
John.
John.
Yeah, that'll happen once a year. Guys, we are at about 56 minutes. Hey, we might have to land the plane because our guest is coming here in about 9 minutes.
Well, we'll do a quick overview of the album.
Okay, yeah.
You want to talk? Hell yeah. Let's get into it.
Classic.
Yeah.
Gang, we brought in Parliament's, I think I said 5th studio album. I can't remember, and I don't have my notes. The Clones of Dr. Funkenstein.
Hell yeah.
So good.
Unbelievable record. This
Yeah.
is like probably my favorite Parliament record. Mothership's really good. I think that's the first one I brought in. That's kind of like the overall introduction to space and all what you're kind of getting into. And then by this 5th album, I feel like they've really like kind of narrowed it down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Children of Production. The amount of samples that are from this album are
I was going
insane.
to say,
So
yeah.
good.
Hey, there
we go.
There we go.
All right.
And
Well, we're good.
all right. We'll see you next week.